So we need a framework, a methodology for participant-led, solution-oriented professional development training. And I think the solution lies in community workshops. And how that can come about, I can explain in this seminar. So basically, community forums are an adaptation of forum theatre, which was developed by Augusto Boal, who was a Brazilian dramatist director in the 1970s. And he was a student of Paulo Freire, who advocated participatory education. And this is all based on the Brazilian social movements of the 1950s and 1960s. So it comes from a context of social and political oppression. And the aim of forum theatre was to stimulate community dialogue and problem solving. So the philosophy behind it is that learning starts with an awareness and analysis of your present context, and then involves reenacting and reflection in order to promote change. And I thought, well, when I heard about this, I thought this is exactly what teacher professional development is all about. First of all, we have to be aware of our context, aware of our issues, analyze the difficulties and the challenges that we're facing, and then through a process, through a methodology that would include reflection, we can change. So the benefits of using forum theatre are that it provides a framework to analyse and interrogate specific scenarios, critical incidents that teachers are facing in their workplace. So it provides a space for reflection. And the way forum theatre works is these scenarios are reenacted. So the participants describe their stories and then they reenact them, they kind of dramatise them, and then they show the stories to an audience. And the audience is invited to find solutions to the issues. And the fact that it is dramatised, the fact that it is fictionalised, provides some kind of distancing. So very often it's difficult to address problems because they are personalised. But as soon as they become fiction, then it's much easier. And Boal talks about this as being between the two worlds. He gives it the term metaxis, which comes from ancient Greek. And basically it's describing the relationship between the fictional world and the real world. So we can make changes in the fictional world and then they have relevance to the real world. The other thing about forum theatre is that it's participant-centred. In other words, the issues being addressed come from the participants. It is solution-oriented. It's designed to find solutions, and it generates dialogue and reflection. And all of these benefits are important, I think, in teacher professional development. So the methodology, I've done a number of workshops, series of workshops. Usually there's 3 workshops. The first workshop is to explore the themes and issues the participants are facing. So we do various activities to create a safe sharing environment in which people are prepared to tell their stories. So we do a lot of drama workshops to build a positive environment where people feel safe. The second workshop is taking these stories and dramatising them and thinking about how we can present them to an audience. And then the third workshop is rehearsing the scenarios and thinking about facilitation skills. How can we get the audience engaged in these problems? How can we get them discussing and motivated to find solutions? And then finally, the actual forum is when we present the scenarios to the audience and the audience interacts and tries to find solutions to the problems. So we start with theatre activities, games, cooperative games, and the aim of this is to foster group cooperation, so to build a group rapport, to build empathy. There are other benefits as well. I mean, it raises awareness of people's physical emotions, feelings, energy levels. And this particular game that I'm going to show you is all about cooperation, non-verbal communication and problem solving. Basically, it's a very simple activity. So everyone is sitting down apart from one person who is the zombie. And the aim of the activity is the zombie wants to sit down, but the participants have to prevent the zombie from sitting down. So there is one extra chair that is empty, and the zombie wants to sit on that empty chair. And in order to stop the zombie sitting down, the participants have to move their chairs so that there is always an empty chair. I'll just show you a video clip of how the game works. So you can see that there was a lot of communication between the group in terms of how they were physically responding in the activity. It's important to do feedback after these activities and to get people to reflect on their behaviour. So feedback could include questions like, for example, how well did you cooperate as a group together? Were there leaders? Were there followers? How motivated were you to succeed? And questions just to reflect on your behaviour in an activity. And what does that reveal about you as a person, about your identity? Another activity that we do is called the image dance. Images are used a lot in forum theatre and in my workshops because images are surfaces. They reflect the memories, imagination and emotions of the person who is watching the image, the observer. So one activity we use is, I call it the image dance. And it's a nice way of exploring meaning and multiplicity of meaning. So basically it's done in a pair or three people. One person freezes in an image, and then the next person has to complete the image, however they want to interpret it. And then the first person leaves, and then another person will complete the image of the second person. So you're constantly changing images and responding to those images. And the benefit of this activity is that you are interpreting the image through your eyes and your body. And what we found with a lot of work with using forum theatre is that if you want to interpret a scenario or interpret a problem, what you want to try to avoid is using words, rationalizing it, providing reasons, because that kind of limits your response to the scenario. So here is an example of the image dance activity. The next stage is brainstorming problems. So we ask participants in the workshop to think about what are the main problems that they face and get them to write down a few ideas. What could you change to make your life better? What obstacles can you remove? And this is something that you could do yourself now, just on a piece of paper. Jot down some of the typical problems that you face. And then this provides the kind of the material that we will use later when we're trying to find solutions. Every time I do a workshop, the problems that emerge are different. This is the list from the first workshop. So they divided problems into internal challenges, which tended to be self-doubt, lack of knowledge, sort of problems that were internal. There was a kind of a lack of security, a lack of confidence. The other category of problems were external problems, so other people like colleagues. And then contextual problems, and this was, in this particular workshop, the main bulk of them. And each workshop we come up with a different list. But what is interesting about this list, I think, is that many of the problems that the teachers face are outside the classroom. In other words, they're not part of their main occupation. And the other thing is that many of the problems are actually caused by the support systems that is designed to help teachers make their jobs easier. So, for example, the curriculum and the timetable and the admin and the management. I mean, all of these are part of the support system, but they're also causing teachers a lot of problems. Different workshops come up with different issues. Sometimes they're more classroom-based. Sometimes they're kind of to do with contracts and managers and institutions and various other things. So once we've kind of brainstormed general problems, then we get to the real consideration, which is considering personal problems and stories. And we ask the participants to think of a problem, challenge, or difficulty that they have faced in the past and overcome, or that they currently face, a problem that they are currently worried about. And I'd like you to think about how you would answer this question, and maybe make a note of an incident that comes to your mind, that surfaces in your mind. Then what we do is we ask, thinking about this situation, this challenge or this problem, we get the participants to think about what's the feeling, what is the emotion that you feel when you remember this challenge, this issue. And can you make an image with your body that represents this emotion that you feel? And can you make a sound? And by doing this, by making images and sounds, we're able to form groups of people who are forming similar images and similar sounds. And I'll give you an example. I call this the circle turn. And this is how it works.
Turn it. One, turn.
Having identified a problem or an issue, then we get the participants in groups to tell their stories. And this is the self-disclosure element of the workshops. So they tell their colleagues about the problems that they are thinking about. Then we choose one story and we think about how this can be dramatized. And the way we dramatize it initially is just through images. So the group chooses one story and then they do 3 images that represent the story.
Number 3.
Thanks, you. And 3.
And as I said, images are a good way of conveying a story because all the observers will interpret and perceive it in their own way. And when if the aim is to find solutions, then obviously this multiplicity of interpretations is going to be relevant. Having thought about images, having thought about how we can tell the story in images, then we add words. So in the touch and tell activity, the facilitator, the director, will touch the participants in the image, and then they say what they are thinking or saying in the story.
Attappalo questo momento! Tormenta claramente ventato! Ho diritto talento!
What do I do? I can't quit my job. It's 50% of. I can't do that. I can't quit my job. I can't be here.
I don't want to be here. I love my teacher. Who's this guy? Why is he? Why? I hate being here.
What are you doing this weekend? I really want to come over to your house.
Oh, just a minute. I'm in the middle of a conversation. What was that?
Please, just 10 minutes of quiet so I can finish my work. Ugh.
Then we choose one story, and the owner of the story becomes the director and the facilitator. And the director then works out how to dramatize the story using the members of the group. This then is presented to an audience in a forum, in a community forum. We're going to present you some problems related to being a teacher, and then we'd like you to help us solve the problems.
My mom is going to love this. Mom,
Starting?
look what I made. It's nice, right?
Yeah, I mean it's good, but not good enough.
Yes?
Hi, Mom.
No, it's alright, it's alright. I was going out to be enough, it's alright.
Mom, look what I made. Is it nice?
Wow, did you do that?
Yes.
Yourself.
Yes.
Good job, honey.
Do you like it? Is it nice? Is it good?
Just change a little bit here.
No. School.
Hello, teacher.
Hello.
Did you have my report?
I do. You check it yourself.
Oh, it's an A.
It's an A.
That's so good, right?
I'm so proud of you. Like from D, now you are A.
Yes.
Well, I'm so proud of
That's
you.
perfect.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, teacher.
Goodbye.
Work permit?
Shut up.
No. That word. Chanchmaising. That means work permit. Yeah, means work permit. You got it. You got it. Put down your signature. Here it is. Yeah.
Stop.
Hi. It's good to see you. You have a line of applicants. Yeah. And you've got just a couple of weeks.
Well, of course, but
And-
I have
I'm
Selma,
sorry to interrupt.
I
I'm sorry.
have Delta.
Here it says Chanchmaising. Next one. I know you desperately need this job.
No, I got my Delta, Delta, PhD.
It's great. Take it or leave it.
All right, I'm not taking it.
All right, you lost the job.
Thank you.